before this video even gets started, I want to personally thank every single one of you who have subscribed to the channel and has helped reach the goal. We now have over 1,000 subscribers, so I've never thought that would ever be possible. So thank you guys, every single one of you, for making that happen. This is going to be the last video of the 3-part series when it comes to getting these doors straightened out and get them together. All right, as you can see right now, we got everything together. It's looking really nice. So if you want to see how we got here, stay tuned to the video. It's going to be a good one, okay? All right, guys, well, we've got to the point where we got these doors hung and we got them functioning as they should, meaning opening and closing from the inside and outside and locking the way it's supposed to, okay? So now that we've installed our trim and all that, the next thing to do is going to be to get the window in and put the run channel molding on. Guys, as I mentioned in the last video, this is not the way, it's a way, okay? I painted these doors off the car and they're completely gutted, and now we're putting them back together. So we still have fresh paint we're dealing with, even though it's approximately 2 weeks old at this moment, and we have a brand new piece of glass that I'll show you. So because of those circumstances, the method that I'm going to use to reassemble these doors aren't exactly what you probably think it's going to be. All right, it's a little bit different approach, but the reason why I'm doing it this way is because I don't want to scratch anything and I don't want to damage any of this work that we've done. Okay, so this way of doing it may or may not apply to you, but it's the way it's going to work for me right now. All right, so with that being said, let's get right to it. So we are converting these windows from power to manual, and like I mentioned, unfortunately we got these manual window regulators, and I'll show you the difference between the two. As you can see, the manual regulator is a lot shorter, okay, than the power one. But if you notice, the way it mounts here, 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 and here is different. So that means this one's slid more towards the back, making up the difference in length. Okay, but other than that, it's the same. So that's the actual conversion, just replacing the regulator itself. So there's nothing else involved more than that. There's no drilling, there's none of that going on. Okay, I got all these parts cleaned up. They had about 30 years worth of grease stuck to them. They were real nasty. One thing I'll point out is there was still some of this old run channel molding stuck into the front portion of the guide, right? And it's funny because this stuff fought me when I was taking it out. This is so nasty. Look at this. It breaks like glass, guys, and you gotta be real careful because it's sharp as shit. Okay, so just be careful when you're pulling this apart, especially if it's original and it's as brittle as this is. Okay, but that's how it comes out. You gotta fight with it to get it out of there. All right, and that's pretty much it. I got the window trim color matched. It looks pretty good. Instead of using the rivets, we're just going with some stainless steel hardware, guys. All right, I got 2 screws ready to go for the window itself. A couple, 3 screws for the regulator. It's all stainless steel hardware with elastic stop nuts, okay? And then I was able to salvage the old bushings that hold the glass in. All right. There's some of the tools you're gonna need. It's just all basic hand tools, nothing crazy. You're definitely gonna need some white lithium grease. Maybe a plastic tool like this to push the run channel molding up. So speaking of the molding itself, the run channel molding, I got it out here baking in the sun right now, and it would behoove you to do this because it's going to relax it a little bit. If you don't do that, it's just going to be a little bit, it's a pain in the ass to put it in, but if you don't bake it in the sun, it's just more of a pain in the ass to put it in. We got, courtesy of my boy Dan, over at AAA Auto Glass of the Treasure Coast, guys. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful piece of glass here. Aftermarket, obviously. All right, and one of the concerns, you know, from my experience building this car is getting parts like this, getting glass. It was sketchy, right? So the windshield and the side windows are still available, you know, readily. I called up Danny and I said I ordered up the glass. I said I need both sides of the door glass. Can you help me out? And his response to me was, how many sets do you want? I went, only just one. And within 24 hours, he hand delivered them to me. So once again, thank you, Dan, for looking me out. The side windows, that's going to be restoration parts. The quarter windows, those are going to be restoration parts. They are available and they're very pricey. As far as the hatch glass goes, nothing that I know of. Okay, so if you need hatch glass, you're going to have to find one from the salvage yard and make do with it, or possibly go to like a plastic window. All right, who wants to do that, right? So let's get going on what we got to do here to put this all together without messing nothing up. Now, you guys are funny in your comments. I really appreciate the comments, guys. It's funny. One of you commented, said, I make it look too easy. All right. These videos, I do edit them, guys. If not, you know, I typically have a longer video style, but if I didn't edit them down, it would take, you guys would not watch it. It's too long. All right. If you've never seen me get my butt whooped by something, I promise you, I'm about to get my butt whooped by putting these doors together. All right. The passenger side was not fun. I mean, it went together smoothly. We don't have any issues, but it definitely, this is not a fun job. All right. You gotta be relaxed. You gotta take your time, and you just gotta pay attention to what you're doing, because you have brand new paint inside and out, brand new piece of glass, and you know, one mistake could be a catastrophe. Okay, so just pay attention. That's pretty much all I got to say about that. I mean, it's, you know, this is a tough one. So let's see if this thing's going to either whoop my ass or I'm going to whoop its ass. Now, remember what I said. Some of you may find this very odd way of doing this, but in the end, it's going to make sense. Trust me on that one, okay? First things first, we're going to take these bushings. All right, the metal side is going to go towards the outside or towards the door skin. Then this piece goes over like that. We click them together just like that. First thing we're going to do, there's no run channel molding, there's no nothing in the way, guys. All right, taking the glass, tilt it on an angle towards the front of the car. Guide it in a little bit. It likes to get caught up on the door brace, so you got to guide it past the door brace and let it just fall right into the bottom of the door. Oops, not that hard. All right. Boom. Now the window is in the door, just hanging out. All right. We're going to forget about it now. We're just going to leave it in there. Okay, put the bottom on, kind of where it needs to be, started. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to put that miter joint together. I'm going to push back, push the miter back, and I'm catching the track at the same time. The miter joint's looking good. This is all looking good. That's just a squeeze fit, guys. All right. Molding now is in. All right. The ever so dreaded run channel molding. First thing, I got the molding in my hands. I'm going to take this part, throw it over on the inside. Now, the inner portion of this molding is the part that's folded over. Alright? So ideally this molding is going to be bent like this. It's going to capture the pinch weld on the inside of the door, so it wraps around that, and then this portion is going to ride flush up against the molding. First thing you got to do when you put this in, I just grab it like this. This stuff's a pain in the ass, guys. You just got to get it in there. But in order to start it off, all right, you got to get the corner started perfectly. So I'm folding it, I'm pushing it up at the same time, and I'm making sure that that flap on the inside is around the pinch weld. You hear the glass banging around in there, it's funny. Alright, so I got it started kind of. Let me start this end. You see I'm just pinching it from both sides. I'm feeling for the inside. I guess I can push the camera around, but it's kind of hard filming both sides. But okay, so we're getting close. It's almost started, right? But there's a little gap here. So I'm just going to take my little plastic tool and I'm going to push it up tight. You can't start this too far because if you get too much of this in there, which it's kind of doing to me already, if you get too much of that in there, then you can't get it real tight up in the corner. So as you can see right now, I got it real tight up into the corner. All right, and I'll show you the back side. All right, that's how you're going to start it off, just like that. Okay, real tight up into the corner. And then you can see now how this goes, okay? This has to go around the pinch weld, see, like this. All right, and then you just work it all the way around. Now if you do it right, this is already cut, notched out for this. You may have to trim a little bit, all right? And then the same goes for here in the front. So now that channel already built into the door, you could see where it goes all the way down in there. All right, so you're going to have to get your hands up in there from the hole in the door over there, all right, and squeeze it up into that channel nice and tight. That's where this comes in, because you see how it's flared. All right, it's going to go over the back of that channel, and then the run channel molding is going to continue all the way down. All right, so let's get that in all the way around, and then we can move on to the next thing. If you look down in there, there's a little flare that the channel goes into, so you just push it in there. All right, and if you look where it comes together, all right, I gotta fiddle with that a little bit, but it comes together nice right there. And there's that cutout right there. So coming towards the front, you can see how nicely this has been made. The cutout's already there. Okay, so now we got to get this, continue this into that channel right there. All right, so it's just a matter of getting in there with your hands, you know, and squeezing on it. As you can see, this is from the other side. All right, this is a pain in the ass, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Oh, this is the worst video to make. I'm telling you, it's not fun. So I got the channel molding down in there, and then this is where the track molding will go on. That goes right in there, but as you can see, I squeeze it past the little metal track. All right, this is pretty much, oops. Come on, you sucker. Alright, this is pretty much done. Push them in there, nice and tight. So now,
I'm going to take the window, I'm going to push it up into the track. For the first time. So basically what I'm doing is I'm getting the window up and out of the way. Okay, the window's up. It's up, it's pushed in tight against the run channel molding. And I push it with my hands extra tight right now, just because I want that window to smash against that new molding and start breaking it in while we continue with the rest of this. Not that I feel like the window will fall down, but I'll put this here so I don't pull my paint off. And just give it a little security, so just so I feel better about myself. All right, next up, got some new hardware on these. This is their front window track. Boy, if anybody's ever done a full resto, you guys will know the suck that I'm going through right now, because it's not, sometimes it's not about like the fun stuff, which is, you know, putting the motor in or getting involved in all that, or starting them up for the first time. This is the moment. Stuff like this, guys, is kind of what makes the car what it's going to be, and there's a lot of attention to detail with stuff like this. So yeah. All right, real simple. There's a bolt hole on the top here underneath the door handle, and there's a bolt hole down here. All right, I'm going to take the track, stick it in the door like this, and then I'm going to line up kind of, see, this end is flared, so it's going to capture the track that's built into the door. All right, so I'm just going to push that up into there. I push it with my hands. I'm going to start one screw. As far as the adjustment goes, when we get to the rest of it, your main adjustment is going to be over here, but these tracks are also adjustable. So I'm just putting everything in the middle for now. And then when it comes down to actually tweaking with the window, we'll deal with it from there. As long as I like the middle, because it's just the middle. Not too tight, just snug it, because we're gonna be jerking around with this. So now we're gonna continue the molding by reaching up in there, squeezing with our hands, and just popping it into the track. This part's a little bit easier because you don't have to deal with the inner pinch weld flap. So this kind of just squeezes in, and you can get it in there pretty much with your hands. You can see how the track captures the track that's built into the door itself. Okay, so if you do it right, it'll look something like that. Okay, and you just push the channel molding in, and then you're good to go. Okay, so that takes care of this part. The mounting points for your regulator is this hole, and this one right here. So on the manual ones, you got to adjust the bar so you can get your bolt through to the other side, because it mounts in the car this way. On the power ones, it's not like that. You got a little bracket that comes up, and you got your two holes there. All right. Now, typically these are riveted. We're just going to bolt them instead. All right. It makes it a little bit more challenging, but in case I want to get them in the future, I want to take it apart. I don't want to be in there drilling on shit. All right, so I got these all cleaned up. I degreased them, cleaned them all up. They were real nasty. All right, so all I'm going to do now, I'm going to take my white lithium grease. I'm going to go inside right there where the main gear is. Give that a shot of grease there. Give that a shot of grease right there. Push it on my finger. And then just on the edge of the teeth, we'll give it a nice little generous coating of grease. So a bunch of dirt can stick to it and all that bullshit. Alright, I'll do both sides. Alright, next thing I'll do, I'll take the grease, I'll go in the spring, put a nice little bead on there, and then I'll pack the grease inside the spring. Little shot of it right here where it clips on. That's pretty much it. Oh. Take some grease, put it on the window catch itself. Just load that up with grease. Alright, your regulator is now ready to put in. So now, if you remember our first mounting hole, we drop a bolt through there like that. I'm going to hold it with my finger. Hopefully it stays. The regulator in. I went ahead and put the handle on the regulator, and I started the nut on that center bolt so it doesn't fall through. And I've pushed the regulator forward, and I got it just hanging out right there on the edge of the door frame. Alright, here's where I'm going to get a little jiggy with it as far as getting this whole situation together, okay? This is going to be your main track and guide. Now, I cannot believe there's these two bushings here. These are actually still in good shape on this car. All right, leads me to believe they were actually replaced. But that's the only part of this car I'm probably not replacing is these stupid things right here. All right, so we're going to take these nuts off, put them in position by the car. Come in here with the grease. Inside the track, I'm going to give it a nice shot of grease there, nice shot of grease here, and then this whole bar we're going to give a nice coating of lithium grease. Here's where it starts getting messy. But you know, if you got any burrs or sharp points or places on this bar that needs to be sanded or fixed, now's a good time to do it. Mine had a little bit of issues, but nothing too crazy. Alright, so we get this grease on there. Just like so. Alright. We'll go to the track, push that grease around a little bit. Like so. Alright, now this is all ready to go in. So we have the regulator in, it's pushed forward, kind of where it needs to be. I'm going to come in now. I'm going to take the bracket. I'm going to slide. So this part faces out towards you because it's going to go through that bolt hole. All right, and then there's a hole in the bottom of the door where that stud is going to go through. All right, so this slips in through there like that. This we're going to put in the door, like so. And the first thing I'm going to do is find that stud hole. Okay? I just look through the top and I can easily see it, right? So now I'm going to just start this nut on the bottom of the door so don't fall out. I'm going to slide this over here like this. I'm going to start this nut on. Okay, smooth so far, right guys? No stress, no prying, bending, pulling around, freaking out, right? Okay, let me fix the grease here a little bit on this, even though it's probably a waste of time because I'm going to bump it and everything like that again. Okay. Now the fun part. Now the fun part, guys. I'm going to pull this tape off. Let me make sure I got my screws. Okay, got my hardware. I'm going to pull the window down. Just to the point where I can see the bolt holes, the mounting holes, and bushings. I'm going to try to leave the window in the track. I'm going to pull up on the bracket. I don't know if you can see this, guys. I'm pulling up on the bracket. I'm going to catch the bracket. I'm going to push the window back up a little bit because the door brace is right there and I can't get my fingers behind this. Alright, so come in. Take my bolt from behind. This is the hardest one, is this one. Okay, I got that on there. Take the nut, put the nut on. Okay, I got one started. I'm going to come in through here. I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, so I slid my fingers up in there, got the nut on. Oh shit. Grab another nut. Alright guys, So you can see that's the nut that holds that stud on the rod on. I got those bolts started on the window bracket. The rod is attached there where it's supposed to be, and I got the regulators just hanging out, right? Kind of in the area where it's supposed to be. All right, so the next step, we're going to mount the regulator arm to this bracket, and then we're going to adjust the regulator in the position where it needs to be in ordinance of the window. Okay, and then we're going to bolt the regulator on, and we're going to be pretty much starting to wrap this up and adjusting this. And then after we do that, we'll be pretty much wrapping this up and adjusting the window. Okay? Real simple, in theory, right? I'm going to reach in there, I'm going to get my regulator. I'm going to take the arm. I'm going to slide that into the track, like so. Now, this is that one nut, guys, that you got to have the regulator in that position in order to access it. So I'm just adjusting a little bit. This whole unit's got to come down. Okay, whole unit comes down so I can get my nut on. I don't know if you can see it, but believe me, get the nut on. So now I got to line up the bracket. Let me see where my bracket's at. Alright, the whole unit can go up. Almost there. Alright, I'm right there where the regulator hole needs to be. My hands are totally full of grease right now. And I'm like, that bolt hole is just right there. I can't get my arm in there. Ooh, I got it. Alright. So that's number 2. Now this should allow us a little freedom now to move this thing. Now what I'm going to do is, because it's all pretty much there, I'm going to lock this one down. Ow! Let me put it up a little bit higher so I can lock it down. Get that thing out of the way. Alright. That's locked down. I can see the other hole right there. No problem. I'll roll this down just so I can get a little bit more space. All right. That one's kind of in. Okay. So that's pushed through. Oh. All right, we can lock this one down now. Okay. So with that one locked down, we got to find that hole again so we can access the nut. to get to this other. Hey, look at that, the window's going up and down. Remember, we got to be in that right spot just to get the nut on. Now, power's the same thing, guys. All right, same process. That's why I love these ratchets with the little swivel head on them and they're full of grease. It's messy. It's tight, it's tedious in there, it's messy. All right. That's why I love ratchets like this, because I'll get in there with a shorty from this side and I'll bend this towards me like that and I'll be able to get that on there, no problem. Wow, just like that. Okay. So, wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's on. It's in. All right. Now, the adjuster is loose. I'm going to leave that loose for now. Let's check out the action. I'm just going nice and slow. I'll help it out a little bit because with this being loose, there's two adjustments here, guys. Hang on. All right. Oh, shit. All right. So that's pretty much in, and it will go up and down, but it's going to have to help it out now because we got to adjust it now. All right. So I'm going to take a quick little break, and then we're going to come in and adjust this thing. But as you can see right now, you know, it's going down, come back, it'll go up. All right. So let me take a break. I gotta get up. I can't move. Ugh. All right, guys. So if you look, I got the window cranked all the way up, but what's happening is the glass is tilting this way, and it's jamming right there. See? So I got a nice space. I can't put the window any higher without helping it out right now. All right. So we got to straighten this glass out, and there's a couple of different ways to do it. For this situation, this adjustment's not really going to help us out too much because the window's already up and it's tilted, right? It's not in the right place. So we have an adjustment here that's going to allow the window to be in this plane back and forth. And then we have this adjustment that's going to take the window and tilt it this way or that way. All right. So we're going to play with this adjustment right now. See if we can get that window nice and straight, okay? Because right now the window has got to get tilted this way, okay? And then let's see what we can do with that. Okay, so what I'll do is I'm not going to have any upward pressure on this right now, okay? So if I crank it up all the way, it puts pressure on everything. Now if I come in here and push, when I do that, and I physically push it up, all right, now the window's where it needs to be. So let's relax this adjustment right here. You know, everything's kind of new here, guys, right? That run channel molding's still new, and so don't go crazy trying to beat yourself up right now because it will settle in. You know, put it out in the sun for a day, and it'll make a big difference. All right. So now what the window is all the way up, where it needs to be. This I relaxed it. So let's just give this a tighten and see if it's happy right there. Goes down nice. Holy crap. You tell me we nailed it on the first shot? Yeah. We nailed it on the first shot, guys. That's great. So there's your trick. That's all I can tell you. You can't do it. Was it that easy? It was that easy, guys. I got lucky on this one. All right. The other side, I didn't get that lucky. So, if we had a situation that where the window wasn't falling into the track properly or whatever, with this adjustment down here on the door track itself, you have the option of moving the glass this way or that way. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Now, because that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything else up. We're good to go. All right, this front track. Now let's see how the front track is before we go crazy. All right, we're going to roll it down. And I notice it's a little light right here. It's a little bit light, meaning the window's going down a little too easy for my taste. So what I'll do is I'm just going to push. I'm going to push forward a little bit. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit. Same here. Get that a little tightened. Let's see how it does now. Wow. There you have it, guys. That was actually, we got lucky. All right, but at least we could say we got lucky, because that's cool. Great. So what we're going to do now is, honestly, just going to leave the window up in the locked, sealed position, and we're going to close the door and just let it sit for a while, and that'll let that run channel molding, seat in real nice. If we got to come back and adjust it a little bit after that, then we'll go ahead and do so. But I think we're going to be pretty good in this one. All right. All right, guys, so that's going to wrap this one up. We'll leave it at that. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them in there. Email me, hit me up on Instagram, okay, at TonyD_freestyle. I want to check out your builds too, okay? Let me know how some of the things that you're taking from these videos, if you're applying them, let me know how it works out for you. I'm really interested in knowing that, okay? So where are we going from here? We got a bunch more stuff coming. It's getting there, guys. It's really exciting. We're well beyond right now that massive hump, okay? A lot of builds, unfortunately, never really make it this far, okay? Things happen in life, la 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 la. People run out of gas, time, money, etc., all that stuff. So just getting to this point is definitely an exciting time, and now we got to follow through, because we created something great. Now we gotta make sure it turns out great. Okay, so that's part of it, and keep that motivation going. Also, is one of them things too. Okay, and I know you guys are interested to see how this thing's going to turn out. With that, one thing that I want to talk about before we end this video. Unfortunately, some of the products that you can buy for these cars when it comes to like restoration parts,
or even just replacement automotive parts. Sometimes, guys, they're not the greatest. We know that, all right? A lot of stuff, you know, the quality of things these days has really, really plummeted to the point where it's actually a shame, all right? I'm going to show you an example. It's really annoying, but it is what it is. You know, if you want something a little step above quality, sometimes you just got to either get better hardware or modify or put a better finish on yourself, so on and so forth, all right? So let me show you what we got going on. Guys, this car has never seen a drop of water in its entire life yet since I've had it, okay? Just by sitting in my garage, all the screws, okay, for this cowling. Now, we know, you know, there's only several places that make this, okay? All right? Come on. I mean, it is what it is, guys. Listen, when we're fortunate that we have these companies that sell restoration parts for these cars, and they took interest in manufacturing them, obviously, for a profit. However, when something sucks, it sucks, okay? So, restoration parts people out there, and, you know, there's several big companies out there. You know, we're fortunate. Thank you guys very much. But sometimes when things suck, they suck, okay? And, you know, if you're going to be in that position, R&D and feedback from people, you don't give somebody steel screws that are going to rust and haven't even hit freaking water yet. All right, but beside that, that's my little rant. All right, beside that, we're working on just a quick little, I'll give you a quick little sneak preview. All right. That's how that's looking. I don't want to show too much, you know what I mean? You know? And you guys, and then we got, oh, look at that. Bam! Cervini's, right? My paisanos over there at Cervini's in New Jersey, what's up? Got a bumper from them. We got the back bumper in. We're waiting on the front bumper. Now, there's a bunch of stuff that I want to talk to you about when it comes to preparing these things and getting them ready and getting them mounted, all right? So that'll be coming up soon. Jerking around with the hood and all that stuff. It's all coming, guys, all right? So the order it's coming in is going to be, it depends, you know. We're in the middle of, got hurricane season coming up and all that stuff. So we'll see, you know, what steps we take moving forward. That'll be a surprise. All right, guys? So with all that, be safe out there, guys. Until the next one, peace.